Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're exploring, the powerful drive behind ambition and exploration. We're digging into some fascinating letters from the 1700s, written by a man just about to embark on a pretty daring polar expedition.
A really daring one.
Yeah. So our mission really is to figure out what fueled this incredible undertaking. What was his world like? And what do these first few letters tell us about him and his, monumental goals?
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the man writing these letters is Robert Walton. He's writing to his sister, Margaret Saville, back in England.
Right.
This first letter is sent from St. Petersburg in December. And right away, his excitement is just palpable. He knows Margaret's worried, obviously.
I'll send it to.
Totally. But his optimism, it's almost infectious. He writes, as I walk in the streets of Petersburg, I feel a cold northern breeze play upon my cheeks, which braces my nerves and fills me with delight. And he asks, do you understand this feeling? This breeze gives me a foretaste of those icy climes.
You can almost feel that chill, that excitement, right?
You really can. And what's fascinating, I think, is Walton's vision of the Arctic. It's so idealized.
Yeah. How so?
Well, in his mind, it wasn't this, frozen wasteland. He calls it a region of beauty and delight.
Really?
Beauty and delight.
Yeah, he even brings up these older navigators who kind of suggested, maybe with a bit too much hope, that snow and frost are banished up there.
Oh.
And that they might find these incredible lands just by sailing over a calm sea. So the key thing for you listening is that his ambition wasn't just some personal whim.
Right, it was contextual.
Exactly. It grew out of his time when the poles were this huge mystery. It really sparked imaginations, this idea of, untold wonders.
And it wasn't just about finding beautiful places, was it? He had some specific scientific goals, too.
Oh, definitely.
He mentions wanting to understand the wondrous power which attracts the needle, magnetism.
A big one.
Yeah. And make a ton of celestial observations. It sounds like he saw this whole trip as a chance to contribute some real fundamental science.
That's spot on. So for you, the listener, the crucial point is Walton wasn't just like sailing north for fun. His ambition was really rooted in the scientific curiosity of the 1700s.
The Enlightenment vibe.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That emphasis on reason, observation, understanding the natural world, magnetism was this massive puzzle back then.
Right.
And the idea that you could maybe unlock it at the North Pole, that was a huge motivator.
But beyond the science, there's this really personal, emotional drive too, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
He talks about wanting to satiate my ardent curiosity and tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man.
That desire to be first.
Exactly. That's such a basic human thing, isn't it? He even compares his excitement to like a kid in a little boat exploring his home river. It's a powerful image.
It really is. That comparison to a child's joy, it really highlights that deep-seated, maybe even primal urge to explore. But connecting this back, Walton also tries to justify this personal ambition with something bigger, more altruistic.
The inestimable benefit.
Exactly. He talks about the inestimable benefit which I shall confer on all mankind. Maybe finding a shortcut passage via the pole or finally understanding the magnet.
So it raises that question, doesn't it? How much is pure curiosity and personal glory, and how much is genuine altruism?
It's a fascinating mix, a really complex blend of motivations.
It really is. And if we look at his background, it kind of shows how this ambition started. Apparently, his Uncle Thomas had this amazing library.
The library. Classic origin story.
Right, full of voyage tales, and Walton just ate them up. He even wanted to be a poet first, like Homer or Shakespeare.
Wow, that's quite a shift.
Yeah, he talks about being disappointed when that dream faded, but then he inherited money.
The catalyst.
And his thoughts turned into the channel of their earlier bent. So this drive for something huge was always there, just waiting.
That shift is interesting, though. From poetry, art, to exploration, science. Maybe he saw exploring as like another way to create something lasting.
Like making his mark.
Yeah, not with words, but with discovery. And like you said, the money made it possible. It just shows how our circumstances can really shape where those deep desires lead us.
And this wasn't just a whim either. He spent 6 years getting ready.
6 years? That's serious commitment.
Totally. He mentions inuring my body to hardship, going on whaling trips to the North Sea, deliberately facing cold, hunger, lack of sleep.
Wow.
Plus studying math, medicine, physical sciences, everything a naval adventurer would need. He basically designed his own hardcore training program.
That level of dedication really shows how serious he was. It wasn't just a romantic dream. He was actively getting the skills, the experience.
Right.
His time as an undermate on that Greenland whaler, and the fact the captain offered him a better job. That says a lot about his competence.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just dreaming, it was doing. Intense preparation.
Absolutely.
But woven through all that planning, there's this need for validation, almost.
Oh, yeah.
He asks his sister, do I not deserve to accomplish some great purpose? He talks about picking glory over ease and luxury. And he really wants encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
He admits his hopes go up and down, feels the pressure of being the leader. It seems like the outward quest is tied to this inner need for recognition, maybe even just reassurance.
That vulnerability is pretty striking, isn't it? Despite all the confidence and prep, that very human need shines through.
It does.
It suggests even the most ambitious people aren't immune to self-doubt, or wanting their efforts noticed. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much is even internal ambition fueled by wanting external validation?
That's a great question. He also gives us this little snapshot of his trip to Archangel.
The staging post.
Yeah, mentioning sledge travel in Russia, needing furs. Small details, but they paint a picture, ground it in reality.
Those details are important. They remind you this is the 18th century. Travel wasn't easy. It was a major trek through tough climates.
Good point. And once he's an Archangel, it's all practicalities. Hiring the ship, basically paying the owner's insurance, which is interesting.
Yeah, covering the risk.
And getting experienced whalers for his crew. He plans to sail in June, but admits he has no idea when, or even if, he'll be back.
That's a huge leap of faith.
It really is. Such massive uncertainty.
It underscores the sheer scale of it and the commitment needed. Back then, setting off like that meant maybe years out of touch, facing unknowns, alone, really.
And that brings us to his second letter from Archangel in March. A different feeling comes through here. Loneliness.
Ah, yes.
He just writes flat out, I have no friend, Margaret. He longs for someone to share the passion, the setbacks. Says writing isn't enough. He needs someone whose eyes would reply to mine.
That's incredibly poignant.
It really is.
That yearning for a friend, it's such a human counterpoint to the huge ambition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It shows the isolation that can come with chasing these massive goals.
Makes him more relatable.
Definitely. He's driven, capable, but still feels that lack of connection.
He also reflects a bit on his education, or lack thereof. He feels he's thought more, had bigger dreams, but feels, in reality, more illiterate than many schoolboys of 15.
Ouch. That's harsh self-assessment.
Yeah, he sees the limits of being self-taught and says he needs a friend to regulate my mind. It's striking, someone so driven still feeling insecure about not having formal schooling.
It's insightful, though. He recognizes that passion and self-study are great, but maybe you miss something without that structure, that back and forth.
Like needing a sounding board.
Exactly. Someone to challenge his ideas, maybe keep him grounded. That desire to regulate my mind suggests a need for guidance, a trusted confidant.
But even feeling lonely, he sees good qualities in the people he does have. His lieutenant has wonderful courage and enterprise.
Right.
And the ship's master, he describes him as having an excellent disposition, gentle but with dauntless courage. He even tells this touching story about the master giving up the woman he loves so she could be happy.
Wow, that's quite a story. It shows Walton values more than just ambition, right?
Yeah.
He sees moral character, selflessness.
It clearly resonated with him.
Suggests he values integrity, kindness, alongside the drive and intellect.
But despite the loneliness, the self-doubt, his core determination is just solid. He says about his resolutions, those are as fixed as fate.
Unshakable.
Totally. And he links his passionate enthusiasm for the dangerous mysteries of ocean to poetry, specifically Coleridge's Ancient Mariner. He even says he won't kill no albatross.
Ah, the albatross. That's a key reference.
Why is it so key?
Well, it shows his drive isn't just rational science. There's this huge romantic streak, fascination with the sublime, the unknown, maybe a bit of that Byronic hero thing.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And referencing the Mariner shows he's aware of maybe the dangers of hubris, the need to respect nature, even as he tries to conquer it.
That makes sense. And then he really hits the core of it, this force he doesn't fully grasp. He says, there is something at work in my soul which I do not understand. A love for the marvelous. A belief in the marvelous.
That's it, isn't it? It goes beyond science or glory.
Yeah, it feels deeper.
It's that fundamental human pull towards the unknown, the awe-inspiring. That belief in something extraordinary pushes him out there. into the wild sea and unvisited regions.
He finishes that second letter, unsure about coming back, asking Margaret to keep writing. Then letter 3, July. They're underway.
Progress.
Yep. Safe and well advanced on my voyage. They've seen floating sheets of ice, so it's getting real.
The first taste of the Arctic.
But the crew's spirits are high. They're at a very high latitude, but getting these weirdly warm southern gales, nature being unpredictable.
A reminder of what they're up against. But yeah, that update shows progress, resilience, optimism, probably mirroring Walton's own.
Oh, absolutely. His spirit is soaring, he declares, but success shall crown my endeavors, wherefore not.
Love the confidence.
And then that killer line, what can stop the determined heart and resolved will of man? Just pure self-belief.
That perfectly captures it, doesn't it? The ambition, maybe a touch of that hubris we mentioned, that powerful belief in willpower over obstacles.
It's compelling.
It is, but it also makes you, the listener, wonder about the risks of that much confidence facing the unknown, right?
Definitely. So wrapping up this first look at Walton's letters, we see this really complex picture. There's genuine science, magnetism, geography. There's the romantic vision of the Arctic, the promise of wonder.
A marvelous.
And that very human desire for glory, recognition, being the first. We've seen the intense prep, the start of the journey, and his thoughts on needing a friend versus his own fixed resolve.
Yeah, these early letters give us this amazing window into an explorer driven by, well, both Enlightenment reason and this deeper romantic yearning. It makes you think, what challenges come from mixing scientific goals with a love for the marvelous?
Right. What discoveries might that lead to? External ones, sure, but maybe internal ones too?
Exactly. What happens when someone sets out with these, seemingly contradictory motivations? And what does Walton's journey, even just these first steps, tell us about ambition itself and that enduring human need to explore, well, everything, the world and maybe ourselves too?